Welcome to Simply Caroline, a podcast dedicated to women empowerment where we will discuss a bunch of different subjects such as life, parenting, love, business, money, relationships, healing, recovery, addiction, entrepreneurship, and so much more. A podcast I'll do my best to keep simple, fun, and relatable and bring you tools to help you better your life. So thank you for being here. And here's your host, myself, Caroline Blanchard. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us again this week. This week, I have a woman who's a ball of energy, positivity, and like if you're not awake right now, she will wake you up. Michelle Hoffmann, how are you?
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. You just reminded me, I used to wake the kids up when they were little. Good morning, good morning. We danced the whole night through. Good morning to you. So if I'm just waking you up, there's a reason to get up. Let's play. Let's go have a life.
I was listening to you thinking the phase that my kids are in. So early adult and teenager, if I would do that, I'm not sure I would still be alive right now.
I just did it to my teenagers and they slept through it.
Okay. So it's good to know that, as parents, we are massively ignored by our teenager. Whoever you are, it does happen to everyone. But
it's developmentally appropriate for them to do that because at that age, they need to self-identify and individuate as their own individual selves and make their own decisions. That's when we start to create what I call, if we're going down this path, an advisory board for them because they need to hear more than just your voice. So what you do is you put the right people in front of them and so they know who to ask for what.
Yes. And I'm quite lucky because I have really cool friends that my kids identify to. So I'm uncool and I don't know stuff. But the people I hang out with do. So It's okay. As long as, like you said, they learn what they have to learn, whether it comes from me or anyone else. But Michelle, we could talk about so many things today, but I initially invited you to talk about relationships. So a category that I'm absolutely acing in my life.
Wait, acing, is that good or not so good?
Yeah, no, I would say that I read a lot of books on relationships. Technically I can coach people, but personally, I'm like, the shoemaker who doesn't have the shoes, that's me. So, But when we met, you made me think so much with that question that you asked. You said, your shirt that you have on today, Caroline, how did you choose it? And I was just like, what? So start with there.
Okay, so you've refreshed my memory as to what the real question was. And to put this in perspective, we were talking about a dating strategy or relationship strategy of how do you choose who you invite into your life? And in reality, how we do one thing is how we do many things or most things. So when you're going to make a decision on a big ticket item, for example, you personally choose the way that you go about doing this. And I have a client who actually, I asked her, how did you choose the couch that you're sitting on? And it was a pretty fantastic couch, to be fair. And she's now looking for the right love in her life. And I want to make sure she finds the right one, just like she found the right couch. So in summary, the way that you choose the right partner is very similar to how you're going to choose the right, really vital, important item in your life, whether it's a big ticket item like a vacation or a vehicle or a very nice couch, or even if it's that gorgeous blouse that you were wearing. And it was notable enough that I'm like, well, how did you go about choosing that particular item that was going to represent you and send the vibe out that is the vibe you want other people to identify you with? So here's how the couch story went, because my client didn't know at all what I was asking her. And she said, okay, the way I bought this couch, first, I did a ton of research and I found these different retail outlets that sold couches that had a good warranty and a good reputation. So now that you know the secret behind what I'm modeling this after, she wanted to find a boyfriend with a good warranty and a good reputation. But it gets better, because then she was going to go and she was going to try a bunch of different couches at different places. All right, think that through. She's going to go, but that's dating. That's the right way to go dating. So she was going to go and sit on a bunch of couches. Gets funner. Wait till you hear what happens next. Then once she narrows it down, she was going to invite her brother and her father to come and try the couches out. I'm at this point going, oh, whoever you choose is going to need your father and your brother's approval, because they're going to try them out. And then she's going to make sure that it's the right color and will fit her decor. So the outside was not at all important. The fact that this person could be welcomed into her family and has a good reputation and is reliable and has a good warranty was more important. And in all honesty, that is exactly who she has found.
Wow. Can I give you my story of my couch?
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, please.
I'm almost scared because now that I know what it means. I went to the closest store. Mm-hmm. I chose brown because it's a very neutral color and it can fit with anything and everything. And I also love brown. And basically, I looked at the brown couches in that store and I sat on them and I took the most comfortable one. And my couch just turned 18 years because it's way too complicated to go buy.
You didn't make it complicated. You made it so easy. Okay.
Now I don't want to do it again. So I'm like...
Okay.
Couch.
So parallel this with your partner. Did you go to the closest store, or you did what was easy and you found one that was comfortable, that was neutral enough that will work? And you know what? You just don't want to go looking again.
Well, I met my husband at work.
All right. So he was right there in the store.
Yes. And yes, it was a very comfortable relationship.
There you go.
And I'm not ending it. Because I think that by now people know that my husband and I have been separated for 4 years and we have a really good relationship. But 4 years ago, he moved out and then COVID hit. And for us, we found out a Thursday night and it was just like, it was the end of the world. It was like, stay in your house, stay with your loved ones, buy toilet paper, buy all the dog food supply you need for your animals. And well, it was scary. So he stayed that weekend. And then he's still here. So we decided
like a comfortable couch, and they're a little hard to move.
Yeah, exactly. But it's, you know, we have a good relationship. We're parenting our kids together. But when you said that about my shirt and now my couch, I was just like, oh my goodness, she's actually accurate, which is scary.
Well, okay, so let's make it less scary. By understanding who you are and how you behave actually gives you insight into how you're going to make decisions. And when I work with people, I really see the importance of going through activities like finding your core values. So as long as your decision making is in line with your core values, and you're not seeking approval or acceptance from anyone outside of your core values, you're not making decisions outside your core values, then you're actually in alignment with who you are. And the way that you presented your situation when we were talking before versus now, I think you're probably having a better day now, because it sounds very at peace. It sounds comfortable, and it sounds like you're co-parenting in a healthy way. And that is most likely in line with your core values, just like your blouse and your couch. So you have an understanding of who you are and how you do things. If you were like, okay, I want to live a high life. I want to be on yachts all the time. I want to be taking airplanes everywhere. I want to live the jet set life and da, 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 da. It might sound great for like 10 minutes. And then you're like, I actually want to go home to my comfortable couch and co-parent in a healthy way with my amazing children.
Yes.
So realize that, you're the understanding who you are and how you choose to live your one precious life is actually a brilliant insight and global positioning system. It's your GPS. And it actually helps you understand who you are and what you want in life.
Yes, well, that's going to bring me to my second question, and I had no idea we would go there and talking about my relationship, but I think yeah, some people will see, will be able to relate to that because obviously I'm a mother. So, you said you're probably in a better day today. Maybe the last time it was the woman talking to you. Now it's the mother talking to you today. I just drop off my kids at school. But we do have those different aspects of our personality. And like for me, for the mother in me, like this is a perfect situation because, my kids are not suffering from a separation and everything and they're super happy. The woman in me, sometimes it's like, well, this sucks. I'm ready for something else. But how do you reconciliate these without necessarily talking about me here? But I'm sure this is a situation of a lot of women. How do you reconciliate this? Because I also have girlfriends that are single and they'll meet someone and to go to the stage of like meeting someone to including them in their life with their kids, that's a whole, it always breaks there and ends. So there's different aspects to our personality that
absolutely. So one of the things that we can do, and I'm happy to do this with you here now, is to identify who are the roles, who are the archetypes that you represent in your life. And I call this the roles exercise. So do you want to play it out? I'll do it with you now. And if anyone listening to this, try your own version of it. So we'll just get right in. Let's do some work here. Who did you used to be? Is the first question. When you were young, and we can start very little. So you started as a daughter to someone, right? That was a role that you came into this world and you were looking for, when you were in utero, you found happiness, contentedness, whatever word you choose, homeostasis within yourself. You come out into this world, and what you learn is that you can actually find happiness or support outside of yourself. Okay? So when you're very little, let's talk about the roles and the titles that you held. So, for example, you were a daughter, and I'd like you to just brainstorm with me now. You were probably a friend. Yeah. Were you a sibling?
I was a sister.
Keep going. You were a student.
I was a student. I was very shy, actually, until I was 12-ish. I was shy and quiet, very reserved.
Okay.
I tried sports. I'm saying I tried because I did sports, but I was really not good at it. And
doesn't matter. You were an athlete. You don't have to be the best. You really don't. But enjoying the experience of physical movement, large motor skills, fine motor skills, intellectual pursuits are the categories I put them in. But so brilliant. So you were an athlete. Were you an artist?
I was trying to. I wanted to sing. My mom wanted me to be quiet. I gave a lot of concerts in my room.
That's awesome. That's awesome because you were communicating and the vibration and the vocalization, and you were connecting even with the relationship with yourself.
Yes.
That's brilliant. You were your own audience.
A rescuer. I would pick up any animal on the street that needed help. And it's funny, one of my daughters does exactly that, people that needed help. And so my mom was just like, you need to stop, bringing animals or people here. It's like, it's not safe. But yes, I was the rescuer.
Okay, I want you to remember that you said that in just a minute. Okay, so you were a daughter, a sibling, an artist, an athlete, you were a rescuer. Then as you got older and you grew up, you became a girlfriend, you became a partner, a wife, a mother, an ex-wife.
Yeah, I have all the titles. Ex-wife, wife, single.
Friend.
Divorced, separated.
Yeah, you've got them all.
All.
And okay, so now let's talk about who you are now. Are you still a daughter?
Yes.
Are you still a sibling?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so while we're saying these, you're actually creating a picture. I'm stimulating your nervous system in this way because I'm helping you identify who you are right now. Do you ever get out, move, exercise? Are you an athlete at all?
Yeah,
Yes.
I actually play soccer quite a bit.
Awesome. Are you able to communicate or sing or vocalize?
When I'm alone.
When you're alone. So you're still, it's so beautiful. That's what the cars are for. Seriously, I think car manufacturers should consider acoustic for when you're singing. And Beyonce can always be louder, all good, but we still want to belt it out. I guess that's my story.
Yeah, closeted singer.
You're what?
Closeted singer.
Closeted singer. Brilliant. So think about the relationship with yourself versus your relationship with others. Vital. You are an audience for yourself, and you are also the artist for yourself. It sends a message. It expands your vibration and your lung capacity. And in some parts of the song, if you're singing lyrics, it's going to be more meaningful. So you're actually expressing emotion. It's such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful thing. Okay, so you're still a parent. You're an ex-wife, and you're a co-parent. Mm-hmm. Or co-parenting partner. You're a home owner, or you're, whatever with your house. You take care of your house. You have a podcast, so you're a communicator. You're helping people still. See, rescuer. So all of these, so you're working and you're a mother. And so what I'm helping you determine are all of the archetypes, who you are. Who would you like to become is the next step. Do you know who you would like to become? Do you still want to be a daughter?
I'm pretty comfortable with what I am.
Right. Okay.
So I'm not trying to change anything. Just, I would say always increase my happiness and well-being, but I'm not trying to be something else. I'm okay with what I am.
Right. Of course you are. Of course. So now, all right, let's play another little game. And it's having a conversation with your 100-year-old self. If we were going to take a moment, take a breath, just be in the moment. And if you're not driving and listening to this, you can close your eyes if you want to. And imagine a very safe place and a very safe space. And here, what I'd like you to do is take a moment and imagine that you encounter the 100-year-old version of you. And approach this person. How would you like to greet this person? How would you like them to respond to you? Maybe you sit side by side and connect. That visual connection is so beautiful. And I'm certain that this person has something that they would like to share with you, some messages. What are the messages that this person would share with you? And what highlights would they like to relive again in their mind of not only when you were little and where you are now, but between now and the 100-year-old version of you? Because this person's going to give you some insight and wisdom, and they're going to give you a message.
It's pretty powerful.
And what do you want to tell this person?
I'm on my way.
Yeah. Okay. So now, how would you like to depart from this person? Imagine in your mind's eye, and you return to your safe space, and you come back to me. What did you learn from that little interaction with the 100-year-old version of you? What message did your 100-year-old self have to tell you?
For me, is that life is short. So live in the moment, because
Very
I
good.
see that she doesn't want to go, and I would have a hard time letting her go as well, because it's the finality of something. And we're all going to have a finality, but I guess it's aligned with the goal that I have today, is that, if you end your life today, um, do you feel like you did what you had to do up until now? Of course, we all have our bucket list and all of this, but up until now, are you satisfied, or you have tons of things on the back burner that you're like, one day, which is one of the things that I find a bit unhealthy, because your one day needs to be today. As much as
Absolutely true. So your one day needs to be today is a very good message. With that message, are you comfortable in the partnership with the couch that you have now? And you don't have to let go of the current couch
yeah.
to welcome in a couch that is going to be up leveled and changes who you are. You don't have to lose your independence or identity to be in a healthy partnership.
Yes. No, I think it would be a couch that is still very comfortable, but probably, refurbished and adapted to today, who I am today.
Yep.
So my couch is leather. It wouldn't be leather, because I
Oh,
don't wear
interesting.
leather anymore.
Okay. So, maybe, expanding the people who you invite into your life, just like we were talking about the advisory group for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be an intimate partner. It can be someone who provides you with emotional support, with intellectual, stimulation, with someone to go and share experiences with, whatever, we design those things for you. Okay. So really the question you were asking me, and I was giving you some activities to bring you to a deeper understanding of who you are now and who you'd like to step into becoming. They're literally in the big game of life and relationships, in that there are three major roles that people tend to fall into. You are not stuck in these roles. However, we tend to return to our factory setting based on what we learned when we were young and what worked, or, in relationships, where should we be? But we do take different roles of these three archetypes in different relationships. The roles, you want to know what the three major roles are?
Of course.
Persecutor, victim, rescuer. And you may play each of those roles in different aspects of a relationship. I thought it was particularly interesting that you are quite comfortable and you feel confident, competent, and strong in the role of rescuer.
Yeah, but really for animals and the underprivileged. I
Right.
don't like rescuing someone in a relationship. Like, I love what Sandra Bullock said once. She's like, I want a partner, not a project. So I
Right.
support her 100%. So I'm not a rescuer in relationships.
I would challenge you on that, but you get to choose. I'm going to let you.
I'm trying to tell myself, and really.
Right. I'm going to say that with love and not press the issue, and I'm going to let you think about it. You can come back to me later if you want to, because you're part of this experience for you is working things through. I would like to put that one in a highlighter and underline it and give you a chance to think about it.
Okay.
And then decide what you want. So there you go. So to answer your question, really, it's pulling into alignment who you wish to step into becoming. Your definition feels very protected to me. Like, I don't want to change. I'm good. And I'd say, okay. And then if we were working together, I would give you other ways to decide how you would like to blossom and grow and leave a legacy of love in your one precious life. Unfortunately, I'm a widow. I've seen life in fast forward. I understand that everyone I've met so far is mortal. And so really, in this short lifetime, what impact would you like to make in the world? And is it eating ice cream and watching Netflix that you're going to self-soothe? And is it safer there? Or are you willing to step into who you wish to become? Are you willing to up-level your life just one click pivot at a time? If someone said, all right, you're now a very famous jet-setting celebrity, and here are your obligations, you got to go, you've got an agent, we're going to design everything. You, like I said earlier, it wouldn't be who you want to be, maybe for a week, or whatever. But then you'd want to come home to your comfortable couch and your children and your life. So really, when I'm encouraging people to help them up level who they wish to become and connect in the world in the way that they really want to experience life and all the emotions and opportunity that life has to offer, that needs to be one step at a time, not leaping off a cliff. And I know that. So that reminds me of the news that I wanted to share with you when we just
go ahead. And before you go there, I just want to say I love how you gave me a good lesson of humility, because you said it's so politically correct of that in your own ways. And I didn't know we were analyzing me today, and if I had some pretenders listening to me, they probably all turn off now and be like, I'm not getting into that, which is fine. But no, it's I love honest talks because, and it takes courage and strength to tell someone okay, you're pretty convinced of that, I'm not, because I know what I'm talking about. So I love that you just did that, honestly. Because like I said, listening to you, I'm probably I'm really, really comfortable on my old couch, and it's cheaper there. So I'm just going to eat my popcorn there and stay there. It's very sweet. But yes, when you
good. It's such a good place. I'm not taking you off your couch or your popcorn or your movie. That is not my goal. Yeah. However, you are attracted to what I have to say because I'm going to open my arms and love you for exactly who you are, meet you where you're at, and then find out where you really want to go. Yeah. And if you do really want to go there, I will help you get there.
No, and that's what I really like about you. It's like you're not, you're helping people find out who they truly are and not necessarily just who they want to be, or who they think they are, I should say.
Right.
Because sometimes I feel as we grow older, we put ourselves into a box where we're I define myself I'm fine with this and this and this. But quite often it's because it's comfortable, and it's not necessarily because that's where we want to be. So, if anyone wants amazing advice and honest advice, call Michelle. If you're not ready for honest, don't call Michelle.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, people who come to me are ready to actually make a change. They've tried to do it on their own, and they've gotten a signal that it's not working. Either they're on the heels of heartbreak, they run into the same relationship challenges over and over again. They can't understand why people behave the way they do, and in response, they're not getting to live their life the way that they want to. And it's, so people will come to me when they're ready. I can't help them before that. So
I guess that's in everything. If you're not ready to help yourself, no matter how much help you get from the outside, if you don't apply it, it's not going to work. But Michelle, share with us your great news that you told me just before the podcast started.
I will. And now I feel hold that thought. I can't bear, I'm busting about it. One of the things that you said is, we want to be comfortable on the couch, which is true. I want to give you a little, some kudos here, because it's your brilliant brain that's doing that. Your brain is sending clear messages. We survived yesterday, and this is how we survived. We're doing that again today. Why would I get up and go into the dangerous world out there? There are all kinds of scary people who might smell funny. Why would I do that? Even though I don't want to be feeling alone and lonely on my couch in my beautiful blouse anymore. I would love to share my journey with someone. That's very different. So you're responding to what your brain is telling you is safe. It actually takes a little bit of effort to say, I actually want something more in this life. How do I get it? And that's when people come to me. And I realize that people return to their factory setting, as I call it. And that's totally normal human behavior. Working with me, it's like I'm going to support that because there is a time to self-soothe and relax and go back to safety so you have a nice, stable platform to reach from. I don't, again, not trying to send people off the deep end here. It's knowing that you have the confidence to dive into, and people come to me most now to attract, keep, and enjoy the right love in their lives. And then I help them with all the relationships in their lives, it's so gorgeous. Knowing that, one, you are relationship ready, and you can dive into the dating pool with the confidence that you can identify other people who are relationship ready, so that you're not connecting with people who might drag you down with them. Right? Rather, you then are in a healthy partnership with someone who you get to maintain your own identity and independence and all the things that you want to do to fulfill your one precious life. And my big announcement, are you ready? Here we go. I have had 3 clients in the past 2 weeks find love now. And I really am their success is mine. I get to be like, yay. And the things that they're saying sound like, I have never felt this feeling before in my life. And these people are in their 50s, in their 60s, and she's in her 80s, but really looks like 70s and acts like 70s. So these are mature people who have been married and have kids and been divorced and had the heartaches or lost someone. And it's like, wow, your whole life, you've actually never gotten this feeling. And so I've been asking, what does in love feel like? And one of my clients is like, every time you say you don't always know when it's wrong, but you'll know when it's right, it just pisses me off. And I'm like, okay. And she said, until now, because now I understand this feeling. And I'm like, okay, so describe it, because everybody has this innate desire, this law of attraction. We want to connect. And we know there's something. We've all watched the romantic comedies. We've all watched these movies that people are willing to die for this feeling. What is it? And they're like, I can't describe it. And I'm like, give it a go, because people want to know. And so they're saying things like, it's like walking on air. It's like the euphoria of eating too much chocolate. It's this systemic understanding that, I'm okay. I know that my partner thinks that they hit the jackpot with me, or I feel like a goddess. And I always wondered before, am I enough? Am I lovable? Am I too fat? Am I too poor? Am I not pretty enough? Am I not good looking enough? Do I have the right car? Am I at the right social status? And now it's like, oh, I can relax. Someone is looking out for me and my best interest, who I actually want to look out for them and their best interest. And they care, authentically care about what happens to me. I am not alone, and I never have to be alone again. And it feels like a giddy teenager, and I can't stop thinking about this person. And it feels like I'm silly because I forgot to turn the oven on when I was cooking, or it feels like I'm stepping into a Disney movie where everything is brighter and more colorful than it was before, or my lung capacity is 100% than it used to be. And here's one of my favorites. Ready? It feels like cotton candy. So these are the adjectives and descriptions of what does in love feel like. And this is what people are going for. It's indescribable. And when you get it, you are part of something bigger than yourself. And that's what I help people find. And that I just got 3 clients who went, I know what it feels like now. And I would agree because you already know that I'll be like, nope, that's not it.
And this feel great for you too, because
Yes.
you know you've guided them on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
And listening to you, I have this idea in me about love that's, well, that happened a while ago, but
Share it. I can't wait to hear what you have to
I'm
say.
not sharing anything anymore.
Oh,
I'm sharing my idea. No, but that when you fall in love with someone, and that's probably why I never believed into online dating,
mm,
because for me, it's like when you see someone, it sparks or it doesn't. There's chemistry or there's none. After going in life, like I know that there's some chemistries that will develop with time, but
yep,
how do you reconcile this with, like for me, the what worries me is that when you put to yourself the perfect person in your mind and you try to manifest it and all of this, no one is ever going to be good enough to, like, in real life, when you see them,
right,
no
right.
one will ever stand to that podium, I should say.
Right.
So how do you reconcile?
So here's what really is happening is we're seeking approval externally.
Mhm.
And when we do that and we forget to just follow in line with our core values, and I would say the number one mistake, well, I guess in all of life, but also in the dating world, is that we are representing ourselves as like this sparkly, attractive object, like this Facebook version of us.
Mhm.
When in reality, I need to be honest with you, every mammal farts. We are not perfect. And it's actually, I mean, there are songs written about it. It's the uniqueness that actually makes us interesting. It's the values that we have in common last so much longer than all of those superficial things that are on your list initially. I definitely encourage people to have the list. Have the list because then you know what you're going for externally. And realize those are external things. Now you also need to know, your deal breakers and that kind of thing too. And I have exercises that I help people go through where I think it's important for people to understand that they will naturally attract the qualities they actually desire to have in their lives.
Mhm.
And through this, series of exercises that I give, just like the ones that I shared with you, they're all very simple. It's very easy to understand who you're looking to invite into your life and what the deal breakers are of the people who are just absolutely, those are the wrong people and they're out of alignment to invite in. Now, the first relationship you have is with yourself. So we do that with you first. And then you have a clear picture of who you actually are. When I work with people to attract love into their lives, the online dating world is amazing. So is, connecting with people in the wild, in the real world. The online dating world, one, is an accepted practice these days.
Mhm.
And it's a brilliant testing ground. It's a lot like what I call junior high, where we literally separate the most awkward time in our lives out and we just thank the teachers who are willing to stay in junior high and help these kids, because that's when it's very obvious. We are learning, we are making mistakes, we are trying things out, and we hope that we are learning from them. And we repeat what works and we let go of the stuff that didn't work. And just go, yeah, sorry about whatever junior high happened. And, I'm better for it. And then we can step into who we wish to become and behave the way we would like to represent ourselves in the world. The same thing is happening in online dating. Just like if you were going to a big city, you're going to run into all kinds of people. And you need to know that. But don't hang out with the people who aren't your people. Find the people who you want to be with and who you want to share your time with, and just walk on by the rest of them. I mean, I don't know why that's not obvious to other people, but I am telling you this message if you hear my voice. So what we do, if I'm going to help someone in the online dating world, for example, first of all, I'm going to look at their profile because this is how they're representing themselves. And you have 1/10 of a second to make an impression. 1/10 of a second. And in that moment, you could use words and you can use images to send your best vibe and the style. So that's why it's so important. And I'm going to give you an example that I think is going to make this very obvious. If you were looking for a corporate job, would you consider putting together a resume that represents you? Yes. Yes, you would. So putting together, and people invest in people helping them create a really valuable resume so that their career trajectory is a successful one. I help people as a starting point represent themselves accurately so that when someone is attracted to them, they're actually attracted to who they truly are. And when they show up in person, just like you were saying, the chemistry is going to be amazing because, I mean, for me, I'm a little bit short, I have frizzy curly hair, and I'm very curvaceous. If someone thinks that I'm going to be a tall, beautiful blonde, they're going to be looking for the wrong person and they're going to be disappointed in me. But if who you're looking for is a robust, hourglass figure with all of my quirky personality, then it's going to be really fun, right? So I'm now taken, but I'm just using myself as an example. So you want to represent yourself accurately in your words. And oh my God, people have come to me and they've said things like the second line in their profile, I kick out cockroaches. Why would you say that? Is that really the best impression that you want to put forward? Woo! Or, okay, a little bit more frequent type of thing. I like to travel, eat good food, enjoy wine. Everyone likes that. However, this particular person is an international traveler. She's got a very high-level executive job. So she goes first class when she travels, and she stays in the nicest hotels, and she goes out to the 5-star Michelin restaurants, and she thinks nothing about spending $450 on a bottle of wine on a Tuesday. So when a fellow looks at her and says, "Woo, that looks attractive," and she expects that they're going to be going out and actually spending money on dinner and wine, and he is reticent about spending $16 on a cocktail, already they're out of alignment. It's the wrong fit. So you were talking about that chemistry. We'll see how easy it is to be out of alignment if you don't represent yourself accurately in picture. Too.
I think that one of the big parts, like I did online dating for probably a month or two, and for me it was more of a fun adventure than anything.
Yeah,
I wanted to start a blog on that because I could not believe.
I know everyone's got a story,
but yeah. But what I was going to say is that essentially what you're saying, and whether it's for online or in person, it doesn't give you anything to change anything because eventually the real you comes out, and probably that's why there's a lot of relationships that don't work, or online dating, like you have those dates that you're like, oh my goodness, he had his picture from 20 years ago, and I thought he was interesting, he's so boring. Like all of these things is because people don't represent themselves truthfully, and that's probably what I don't like about online dating because I can't gauge that easily. But regardless, it's not about me. It's just, I'm talking in dating in general. Like you said, if you want to show your Facebook live or your Instagram live, it's all through filters.
Right.
Eventually the filters will go down and, eventually, you will wake up with no makeup. So all of these things, it's just to stay real. So to talk about the values and not just the external, because the external anyway fades. The inside values stay usually, and you can't pretend to be someone else because you're not going to be able to keep up that act. So right. That's what I really like about you as well, is that, before helping someone to find someone, you help them finding themselves. And I think that a lot of us need that help of like, what really are my core values?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and what am I really looking for? And it's funny because my mom told me that, like, and I just thought that, you know, she knew nothing because I was a teenager. But she always said,
I've
like,
seen previous conversations.
she always said, like, Caroline, it's not the outside that counts, it's the inside. And I was just like, well, she clearly doesn't have to kiss them. So I was
Right.
just like, no, the outside counts. And then she was always saying, you know, if you chase the natural, it always comes running back. And it's so true. So don't
Say
be
it again. If
that
you
you're
chase the, say it again.
like it's a French expression, so it may not work in English, but when we chase away the natural, our natural self,
Ah, very good.
yourself, it's gonna come running back to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna stick to you. It
Right.
sounds way better in French, by the way.
It's the same in French.
No, that's the essence of it. No, most people here are English, so let's just
Right. But if it sounds better in French, we want to hear it in French. It's natural way.
yeah.
So that's it. You can't run from who you truly are because it's too much work to try and keep that up. I know there are other coaches, and I think that they're very successful and it's amazing. And they will tend to say things like, how do you get him to never stop thinking about you? How do you make him come back? How do you this? And it's like, oh, no. I actually don't think relationships are work. So if you're looking for a relationship that requires work, I am not your person. If you're looking for a relationship that requires love and fun and cotton candy and just the desire to want to be together, then that's how you know I'm the kind of person that you want to come to. And you need to find the right person, the right guides for you always.
And see, I have the exact same mentality as you on that. I have heard that too quite often. Like, love is work, and you need to work at it. And sometimes it's a choice that you choose. And I'm like, no, love is a feeling for me. It's always going to be. Yes, there's work to be done in a relationship, but the positive has to outweigh the negative, like a thousand times.
Right. So people tend to come into relationships with like a level 1 skill set, and they want to be up leveled to like a level 25 relationship. But why would you do that? Then you're rescuing, but you don't, that's not a partnership. That's you rescuing. That's a project, right? As you were saying. So if you can up level your skills, then you're meeting someone and co-creating something bigger than yourself. And that's a very different connection and experience. One where you will come back to me and say, I've never had this feeling before, and now I know what everyone's looking for. So good.
Well, Michelle, you're so interesting, and I know we could keep talking for hours. So I'll invite you to my next wedding.
Okay, excellent.
Maybe 7-ish, but whatever, you'll be the bridesmaid. What would you leave people with, like today, who are, in a relationship or not in a relationship? What would be your words of wisdom for them to walk away with? And like, if you need to remember one thing, just stick to this one.
So if you're going to remember one thing, all relationships go through the same cycle, from chemistry to casual to committed. And if you and your partner in the relationship are at different points in that cycle, then it's important to understand that and understand the why, so that you can be on the same page. And rather than totally share the activities and locations in life that you have in common, but having core values in common is actually what creates an enduring and loving relationship through time, so that you can find your soulmate.
Awesome.
And if you need a little help, you can certainly reach me at theartofrelationshipping.com.
Exactly. And you know what, with all of this, I totally forgot to mention that Michelle also has like two great books. One is Life Worth Living, and the other one is The New Management Blueprint. So it's not related to love necessarily, but it's related to growing yourself, which is, in the end, we should all do that. But your next book will be in relationship with love. So what is the title and when is it coming out?
So, Life Worth Living is about personal relationships and my journey and how I've helped other people through to become relationship ready. The New Management Blueprint is about professional relationships. So it's all about relationships. And Find Love Now is the title of my new book coming out, and it'll be ready in a few months. So if you're looking for an early reader copy, go to theartofrelationshipping.com and connect with me, and I will share one with you.
That's so awesome. Michelle, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you. I love your authenticity and your honesty and just like your fun. So people reach out to her. It's always good to have an external perspective on what we think we are. And thank you. I got some today. So everyone else with us, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can reach me at info@simplycaroline.com. And otherwise, we will see you next week. And Michelle Hoffmann, have a beautiful week.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing this time with me and inviting me to be a guest.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.